The Duskbloods was one of the biggest surprises from the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation last Wednesday, and now Nintendo has published an interview with Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of the game and of From Software, who has shared the first details about the title. Known on social media as Bloodborne 2 due to its gothic setting, From Software's new game revealed little about its gameplay beyond its striking trailer. Now it's Miyazaki himself, director of the Duskbloods, who has provided in-depth details about what we can expect from the game, which is set to launch in 2026. It all began when From Software pitched the concept of the Duskbloods to Nintendo, who greenlit its development to begin with a small internal team. The game was originally intended for the Nintendo Switch, but as development progressed, the company suggested moving it to the next-gen console. Miyazaki explains that we decided to scale up its development to match the capabilities of the new hardware. That hardware places a strong emphasis on online features. Just like the Duskbloods, it's a PvPvE multiplayer title in the vein of what the studio is also developing with Elden Ring Night Reign. Miyazaki is quick to emphasize that they will continue to make single-player games, and he mentions that they plan to return to the style established by Elden Ring, which will also be available on the Nintendo Switch 2 later this year. The protagonists of the Duskbloods are the Bloodsworn, a group of warriors with superhuman abilities granted by their special blood. They're similar to vampires, but without the traditionally grotesque appearance. There will be more than a dozen characters to choose from, each very distinct and customizable, allowing players to enjoy crafting their own unique warrior. The Bloodsworn hail from different eras and locations, which explains the game's blended aesthetic. All of them compete for the first blood, which emerges during what's known as the Twilight of Humanity, the director adds. Thanks to this clash of eras, the Duskbloods features powers as varied and unusual as the characters themselves, each with their own arsenal, including everything from spells to firearms. Now, getting into gameplay details, the Duskbloods will feature a central hub used to join online matches, which will support up to 8 players. Miyazaki explains that at the end of each match, players return to the hub where they receive rewards. With those, they can further customize their character before diving into another battle. These matches will have a clear yet challenging objective: be the last warrior standing. Although the victory conditions can vary. For example, sometimes players will need to team up to defeat a powerful boss. Another element are victory points, which determine the winner. They're earned through direct combat and other in-game actions. Also important are summons. Each player can summon an entity to assist them in battle. Matches will also include unexpected events, like the Stone Moon, seen in the trailer. It affects the battlefield and changes the rewards. The Duskbloods will feature From Software's signature cryptic storytelling. There will be fragments of lore revealed through character customization as players shape their bloodline story and destiny. The game will also introduce roles, special responsibilities, and objectives, which in turn will create unique interactions with other players, similar to the background stories chosen in tabletop RPGs. On a final note, Miyazaki explains that the winged rat from the trailer will have a role similar to the bonfire keepers in Dark Souls, offering guidance and direction. It's something more in the Nintendo style, a cute character, although it's actually an elderly knight. With free-form combat, countless abilities, and its original aesthetic, the Duskbloods is shaping up to be the most anticipated exclusive for Nintendo Switch 2, but that's with the caveat of it being a PvPvE game that not everybody's going to be into, myself included. I was originally hyped for this, but I don't know if I'm going to get it, and this could be a system seller for this Nintendo Switch 2, considering that this is an exclusive game for Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know if it's going to come down to PC later in the future. It possibly can, since From Software technically is third party, and Capcom, had a game on there, Monster Hunter Rise, as exclusive for about a year, and then came to PC. So I imagine this could follow a similar path, but time will tell. What do you guys think about this? Is this a game for you, with it being PvPvE, or are you more of a fan of the traditional Souls games where it's single player but also has a multiplayer element where you can do PvP as an option? This is seeming like a battle royale type of style of game, and for me, I'm not really into that. I don't want to engage in PvP in a Souls game. I never really had the encouragement or initiative to do, or just excitement to do, or anything like that. So yeah, this is not looking too great to me just from that aspect, but this will definitely entice a lot of players to want to try this out, give it a shot. But then again, you also got to consider what's going on with the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself and the games in terms of their pricing, as well as the tariffs. Unfortunately, that's going to be a continuous topic when it comes to the video game industry, because these games are not made in the United States, for example, and with the tariffs being in place, this is going to cause them to be significantly more pricey. Nintendo had to essentially shut down their pre-orders for their system for the time being, even though the system itself still launches June 5th. And we don't know when those pre-orders will be available because of the tariffs. And then you got the games, if you want the physical copy of them, which will be affected as well too in terms of pricing. Digital pricing, I imagine, will probably be affected to some degree, but maybe not as much as the physical versions of these games. We'll have to wait and see, though, within the next maybe few days, maybe coming weeks, what will happen with this. But yeah, definitely stressful times financially for gamers, the consumers. This is going to hurt us the most. And I love From Software and what they do as far as a video game dev. Like, I've gotten all their games, and this is probably one I don't get, though. But then also Night Rain's coming out soon, which is not PvP focused, it's co-op focused, so I'm more inclined to give that a shot. Is this a game for you, though, or are you more inclined to try Elden Ring Night Rain instead, since it's more co-op and a sort of battle royale in a sense too, but also roguelike elements? Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you found this helpful and enjoyable. Hit that like if you did, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.